Okay, so this is the central revelation of the human design system, right? Simplified into one, admittedly quite complex diagram. But we're going to break it down, so we're not going to look at all of it at the same time. I'm going to hide the body graph, and we're just going to focus on the zodiac wheel here. Okay, so the wheel of the zodiac. This is the same wheel as we have in astrology. So I'm going to assume that you have a basic working knowledge of the orbit of the planets. You don't have to know all of the ins and outs of astrology, but just be familiar with the fact that like the signs are locations in the sky where the sun and the moon traverse around, right? The central revelation of the human design system, there's a few of them, but one of the primary things that we got from the revelation is this mapping of the I Ching to the zodiac. Okay, so what does that mean? The I Ching, which we'll cover in another video, there's tons of resources out there on this. This is this concept of a hexagram. So you have 6 lines. Each of the lines can either be yang, like this, whole, or they can be broken, like this, or yin, right? So you have yang and yin. 3 yang lines, 3 yin lines. These are each trigrams. Sorry, that's not very clear. A trigram is 3, 1, 2, 3. And then a hexagram is 2 trigrams put on top of each other. So I need to make my, oh man, that is not a very good, sorry, I'm just getting used to this new setup. So this is my first time filming a video using my iPad, but I think it's going to work. So just bear with me a little bit. So the mapping of the zodiac to the I Ching. And we're going to start here, right? So this is the Aries point. Aries point. And that is the place where the zodiac begins, right? So it goes through Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Those are the seasons of the zodiac. What came through during the revelation is that each hexagram maps to a point or a region of the zodiac in the same way that we have the signs here. Now we have the hexagrams, which are called gates. So this one is gate 17, right? Off the top of my head, I can't draw that one. So we'll start with one that I can draw, right? So this one, sorry, my image got cut off right here. This one in Scorpio, that's hexagram 1. It's easy. 6 yang lines. I'm gonna do a little cleanup here. And if I remember to edit this out, you won't have to watch me do this. But yeah, I'm getting used to using this new system. Okay, so hexagram 1 is gate 1, and that is the center of Scorpio. Okay. Hexagram 2 is exactly opposite that, gate 2, and that is, not that, this, 6 yin lines on top of each other. And if we have 6 yangs and 6 yins together, so this is 1 and this is 2, these two are programming partners because each line is opposite, and they're opposite each other in the zodiac, right? So we have gate 1 in the middle of Scorpio, gate 2 in the middle of Taurus. And then each of the 6 lines in hexagrams 1 and 2 are opposite each other. So that's the concept of programming partners. Okay. So let's see. I'm actually just gonna throw a new layer in here and hide that one. Okay, so yeah, so that's what we have here is the mapping of the hexagrams, which are also known as the gates, to a region of the zodiac. Okay, so what that means is that we don't need another layer. What that means is that right now the sun is in the end of Taurus. Okay, so we've got the sun right here, and it's in gate 8 as I'm recording this on May 15th, May 16th. I can't remember. May 15th, I believe, of 2025. So the sun is in gate 8. And gate 8, we might as well take a look at it. So it is this. So we have the 3 lower lines are all yin. So this is Earth. And then, oh, I drew it wrong. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me go back. Okay. So 4 yin lines, a yang line, and another yin line. So this is Earth, and then here we have water. And we'll talk about the hexagrams of the I Ching in a separate module, because that really merits its own study. You can study the I Ching for your entire life and not be an expert at all, and it's one of those gifts that keeps giving. But for now, we'll just you just need to understand that each of these gates has a hexagram, and it has an archetype. So the sun and then the moon and then every planet is in a gate, and it is broadcasting the frequency of that archetype at the time that it is in the gate. Okay. So we're gonna go back, and now what I want to talk about is the body graph. Okay, so the body graph, and we'll turn off this one just to focus on the body graph. So this, as in the same way that this is the synthesis of astrology plus the I Ching, okay? This is the synthesis of chakras and the Kabbalah, tree of life. Okay, so we're not actually going to go too much into the Kabbalah because there's a lot of overlap between it and chakras. So we're just going to focus on the chakras, and then we'll talk about the gates. So let me show you. Oh crap, I accidentally drew on my layer with my body graph. Okay, so I'll delete that layer. We're gonna go to this layer. Okay, so this is the body graph, and you can kind of think of like, a head and shoulders. Right, there's a person here. It's kind of goofy, right? Sorry, I'm not the world's greatest artist if I don't have time to work on stuff. But okay, so what we're looking at here, if you zoom in on these centers, you can see that they have numbers in them. And there's 64 of them, just like there are 64 gates. And that's because they correspond to the gates. Okay. So, but before we get there, actually, sorry, let me back up. I'm going to hide that one. I'm going to go here. Okay, so here we have the body graph, and we have 9 centers, which correlate to the 7 chakras. In kind of an, like, mostly intuitive, but there's a little bit of, there's some changes, like this is new, this is new, this is new, right? It's not straight one-to-one, but we can kind of go through, and whatever you know about the chakras is pretty much always going to be relevant to the body graph. The new things to learn are the solar plexus. It has moved out here. There's this one, which is the spleen, and then we have the heart. My handwriting is getting really sloppy here, but that's sorry. And then this one is called the G center, and you'll usually see it written as the letter G center, but that's because Rahu is an idiot. So he couldn't hear the word G coming through and not think the letter G. So G is a Chinese term meaning like kind of like qi, but it's like the essence. And so this is the G center. It's not the G center. It's the G center. Anyway, minor rant. Okay, let's grab a new layer here, and I'll turn it. Okay, so 9 centers. Most of them are the same as you're used to, and there's just a few things that are different. But for when you're first starting out, you can just consider them the chakras, and then you can kind of imagine, so this is the first one, this is the second chakra, exactly the same. The third chakra kind of goes like this, and then we go 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is a little bit contentious, or maybe not contentious, it's a little less clear. I've seen multiple different like mappings of how the third chakra or how the lower centers got split out. So don't worry about it too much. What you need to focus on is learning these 3 new ones and how they like map to your experience. And then that's all you have to learn, right? You've already got these other 6 that make sense to you, assuming you already know the chakra system. And if you don't, that's fine as well. Just know that there are tons of resources out there about the chakras. So it's, not necessarily unique to human design. Okay, and so the next thing that I want to talk about is, so I'm going to turn this back on, right? And so now we can see that that this outer, so now we can see, and I'm pointing with my pencil. You can't see what I'm pointing at. That's funny. But what we have here is the outer ring. We have the, it's from the Revelation, they call it the Rave Mandala. I don't really jive with that term, so I'm not going to use it. But this is just the mapping of the gates to the zodiac, right? And so we can think of it as just the zodiac. So as planets, like I said earlier, the sun is here. We've got Neptune and Saturn here. And we've got, off the top of my head, I think Mercury is in 27, right? The moon is probably in, it's over here. Probably in, it's probably here. We'll just guess. But the planets, of course, are going to dance around the zodiac, right? Like they always do. And whenever a planet, so right now the sun is lighting up gate 8. And so we're going to see, that's a really bad example because gate 8 is like, it's really short here, but we have a gate definition there from the sun. And then let's just assume Mercury's in gate 27. And so then we're going to have a gate definition right here, right? So as planets move through the gates, they activate them. Sometimes you will have planets on both sides of a channel. So right now in the transit, I think, yeah, right now we have, let's see, I don't think we've gate 1. Let me see. Do we have any gates? I thought we had. Okay, I don't know if there's any examples right now, but let's just say that we could back up a little bit and we could back to when the sun was in gate 2, because that's a good one. And so then the Earth is in gate 1, right? And then we would just say, no, that's a bad example. Okay, sorry. I don't know how much I'm going to edit this video before. I'll probably just throw it up because I haven't posted a video in a few weeks. And perfection is the enemy of good. And okay, so yeah, I'm just going to erase all of these. So we're just going to, we're going to have a, for example, so let's just say that Mercury's in gate 27, like it is, right here. And then let's just say, for example, that the moon is not over here in Aquarius, that the moon is in Virgo, or sorry, Libra, that the moon is in Libra in gate 50, okay? So we have Mercury in gate 27, we have the moon in gate 50, the moon is gate 50 right here, so 50 and 27 connect, okay? So now we have energy that flows from this center to this center, right? We have a connection between the sacral center, and the splenic center, right? And then if you go through your birth chart and you figure out where every planet is, you know, let's like a planet here, whatever, and then you go and you color those in. And this is what we're going to do in my course. We're actually going to do arts and crafts, because I think that if you actually sit there and you color all of your charts in by hand, you get to know yourself and you get to know the people around you so much better than if you just look at it on a PDF. Okay, so we're going to do that together in the course, but for now I'm just using digital to show you. But I think that there's really some important value in actually sitting down and like coloring in that 45 and then that 21 and seeing that connection between that heart center and the throat. So this is a person who is able to express their will, right? Their will gets expressed. So that's the power, right? That's what the system can do. So you probably have already figured out I am not a Jovian student. I really do not jive with the founder's interpretations of the system. I am a student of Zen human design. And I am really indebted to the work that a woman named Zeno devoted her life to, teasing apart the revelation, which is this and this, from all of the layers of distortion, essentially, that the founder put on top of it. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help share that and to help get to like sing the good news. Have you heard the good news about human design? Not that human design, but the real human design, because it is really, it's really good. Yeah, I have no idea how long I've been talking, and I think that this might be a good place to end this video for now. So Let me know if this was helpful. Comments, description, I have links. Check it out. Not my best video, but perfect is the enemy of good, right? So thank you very much for watching.